we're going to try to make some upper panels in the cab. The panels that were originally above the door, the driver and passenger door, are really terrible shape. So we're going to try to recreate some new ones out of steel and use the new bead roller to put a design into them. So what we're looking at is these are the old panels that were above the door. So the door would be down there, the fiberglass top would go across here, and as you can see, old material, the foam is just completely turned to dust, nasty. They had some sort of key lock box on this one, but we're not going to put that back in there. So we're using some thin steel, according to our little gauge wheel here. I think it's about 22 gauge. I think that's what we're looking at. Maybe. Of course, now it's going to make a liar out of me. There we go, 22 gauge. So nice thin stuff. Should work really easy. Should be able to put a nice little bead into it. So we'll make 2 of these. Same size, same shape. And then when I do the pressing with the bead roller, I'm going to have to remember to invert one from the other. That way the pressings come out the same. So I'm going to pause the video here, do some cutting, and then show you as I go. Okay, here we are working on those steel panels for the cab. Here's the original wood one. I took the material and the foam off of it just so we can use it as a template. And here's the 2 steel ones we created. They need definitely some trimming up. Got some edges that we got to cut off there. Neaten them up, do some bead rolling. But here's where we are. It's about 20 minutes, I guess, of cutting steel to get to this point. So I'm going to neaten them up a little bit, take some final measurements. I'm going to put a hole in the center of them where this one was, so I can at least do a trial fit up there, make sure they fit in the area they're supposed to, and then start laying out a bead roll pattern on them. Alright, here we go. We got the first panel ready to do a test fit. It's not done, but it's ready for a test fit. We got the hole drilled into it like the other one had. We're going to use the same snap screw. Don't know if we're going to use that when the final installation, but that's what we're using for a test. And oh, one last thing. Always make sure your angle grinders have the guards on them, not like this. Don't do what I do. Okay, here we are taking a look at some indications I made after I did a test fit. Tried to take a video in there, but things got in the way. So these lines right here, anything on this side over here, this is not going to be visible. There's another panel that sticks out this way that's going to hide this. The same with this up here. This isn't really going to be visible. Everything else will be. Like I said, this is the passenger side. This is what you're going to see when you're sitting in the cab and look up. Got a little bit of trimming needs to happen down here on the corner. Trim this up a little bit, cut the corner a little bit. A little trimming right through here. Not too much. So I'm going to do that. Then we're going to thinking about a pattern for our bead rolling. Alright, here we are. We got our pattern laid out. Got the edges trimmed up a little bit. Got a little bit of a pattern laid in here, how we want to do this. We're going to have the middle section here raised. We're going to avoid this right here because we're got our screw going through here. So we're going to leave that flat. This is going to be raised, very similar to my test bead rolled pattern here. Then what we're going to do later is we're going to put vertical lines through here to emulate the pattern that's on the cushions inside the van. Now the panel, when we're done, will be painted, be sanded up, primed, painted. I'm not sure if it's going to be black or dark blue or whatever color, but we're going to try to put this in the bead roller and see what we can come up with. Alright, here we go. We got done running the bead roller across this, put a little bit of a edge into it. Not really bad for the first try, but we did have a little bit of a problem here on the corner. Bead rolling the corners is a little tricky because it wants to go a little faster. That one's not too bad. But for a first try, I'm not going to complain too much. Didn't quite get it right on the lines like I wanted to, but good enough. We're going to go put this in the ambulance and see how it looks. Alright, here we go. This is the first installation into the ambulance. Bead rolled panel pressed up in there, mounted. It's not too bad. A little bit of a gap on the back, but that's going to be filled with another panel later, so it's not too big of a deal. Compare that with that ratty old panel over there. I think the bead rolled panel looks a lot better. So we're going to paint it, probably put a little bit more design into it, but just that alone, that's a whole lot better. We're going to make a new panel for this piece right here above the gauges, and obviously that other side over there is going to get done. Alright, more to come later.